All right, it's Tuesday, and you know what that means. It's time for another superhero deep dive. I think this is one of your favorite podcasts, semi-favorite podcasts. So yeah, welcome. I am your host, Jason. Let me give you my normal disclaimers before I get into it this week. The information pulled is from different sources across the internet and may or may not be completely complete, but they do give a really good insight on the current superhero that we're talking about today. And as always, you can catch me on Twitter, Twitch, and Instagram under Super Deep Dive and use the hashtag superherodeepdive. I post memes daily on Twitter and Instagram that are superhero related, so that's fun. You can also email me anytime at b4itall@yahoo.com. And if you are watching this on YouTube, you can always comment, like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. Let me help build a base with that because that would be amazing. And yeah, if you subscribe and watch, that's great because you'll be able to see slideshows of the character that we're talking about. So yeah, and if it's a Tuesday or Thursday, you can also listen to me on Outworld Fleet Radio, and their website is www.con-ventional.com/radio. So, with all that being said, this week I'm switching it up. I did Fire and Ice, and I'm keeping it female centric right now. Just because I find that the female characters have a little bit more depth. So, yeah. But this week I'm going to be talking about the Marvel character Songbird, who I have been a huge fan of ever since she came out in Thunderbolts. So, yeah. And apparently I like to say, yeah, a lot. Alright. Her real name is Melissa Joan Gold. Now, Melissa Gold was a troubled runaway from an alcoholic father and an incarcerated mother. And in order to survive on the streets, Melissa developed a hard edge to her personality, referring to herself as Mimi. She was eventually imprisoned, where she met Pound Cakes, a female wrestler who invited her to join the Grapplers under the name Screaming Mimi, alongside Titania and Letha. And Titania is a popular Incredible Hulk villain, so just keep that in mind. The Grapplers became renowned for their colorful personalities and ringside antics, but the Wrestling Federation denied them the opportunity to make the amount of money their male counterparts made. Instead, the group agreed to earn supplementary income by performing a covert operation for the Roxxon Oil Company. Roxxon gave the Grapplers special paraphernalia to assist them in their mission. Mimi received an apparatus that converted her voice to high-frequency sonics for various effects. The Grapplers tested these powers by fighting Thundra in a wrestling ring. And on their mission, Thundra led them into Project Pegasus to smuggle out the nth projector for Roxxon. The mission failed, where they were defeated by the heroes Quasar and Giant Man. Ooh, maybe I'll do Quasar next week. That sounds fun. But anyway, Quasar and Giant Man. The Grapplers were tried and jailed for their misdeeds. Alongside the Grapplers, she victimized Dazzler while she was in Rikers Island prison with them. When the Grapplers were finally paroled, they discovered that the women's wrestling movement had lost its momentum without them. So they continued to perform crimes to support themselves and working as professional criminals. Alongside the Grapplers, Mimi attempted to attack the Thing while he was in the hospital, and she battled Captain America. Later, the Grapplers set their sights on a women's division of the superpowered Unlimited Class Wrestling Federation. Their manager, Auntie Freeze, arranged for the women to augment their natural abilities with artificial powers created by the agency Power Broker, who you might recognize from Falcon and Winter Soldier. While the other Grapplers received superhuman strength, Mimi instead had her vocal enhancements internalized as a throat implant. and it was believed that Mimi had also gained super strength. However, by her own account, it was only the other grapplers that were augmented. The all-new grapplers made a legitimate professional comeback that proved short-lived. When Titania was murdered by the vigilante Scourge, Mimi was among the female wrestlers of the Unlimited Class Wrestling Federation who participated in a mass attack upon the Thing, blaming him for Titania's death. After Letha was also killed by Scourge, the grapplers broke up. And I think that's just because Mimi was the only one left. Everyone else was killed. All right. Mimi was later contacted by the criminal Baron Helmut Zemo to join his versions of the Masters of Evil. Her first assignment was to help bust the female Yellow Jacket out of prison, but Mimi was captured in the subsequent battle with the Wasp. Black Knight, and Paladin. She was bound and gagged and arrested. Later, she formed a romantic and criminal partnership with the similarly powered Angar the Screamer, at one point battling the Avengers Hawkeye and Mockingbird. The pair impersonated Hawkeye and Mockingbird, but battled them and were defeated. Mimi was also seen among the various female superhumans aboard Superior's cruise ship, where she battled Captain America and Paladin. Angar was eventually mortally wounded by a gunshot during a robbery attempt that went sour, and died in Mimi's arms after they escaped. Mad with grief, Mimi screamed, burning out her power implant. Now, immediately afterwards, she was contacted by Baron Zemo once more, and she accepted his offer to join a formative Masters of Evil. Zemo allowed Mimi to be nursed back to health, and his accomplice, the Fixer, gave her new powers via a voice-augmenting harness and high-tech implants in her neck based on technology from the villain Claw. With her newly transformed powers, she resumed the use of her given name Melissa and adopted the identity of Songbird as a member of the Thunderbolts, which was actually the Masters of Evil group posing as superheroes to win the world's trust while secretly plotting world conquest under Zemo's direction. Great premise for a comic, by the way. I love the original Thunderbolt comic because they were all villains that were kind of repackaged to be heroes, and they were trying to do good, but with that kind of but they were kind of selective about it because they wanted to just earn people's trust just enough to rip them off. Like it was really cool with the dynamics in it. Now, Melissa and most of the other Thunderbolts grew to like their heroic roles. In particular, Melissa, or Songbird, began to truly grow into her own and even began a romance with her teammate, Abner Jenkins, alias Mach 1, who was formerly the Beetle, that was a Spider-Man villain. Ultimately, the Thunderbolts turned against Zemo, foiling his attempt at world domination and rescuing the Avengers in the process. Melissa continued to serve with the team, who operated as a team of outlaw superheroes. Now, Songbird stayed with the Thunderbolts through different incarnations after this and rose to second in command under Hawkeye, and eventually ran the team herself. Her sonic equipment was replaced several times, both by criminal organizations and by S.H.I.E.L.D. Now, what's interesting is she got to be second in command under Hawkeye, who is where, her and Hawkeye had battled numerous times. So if there was an actual super arch nemesis, I guess, for Songbird, it would have been Hawkeye. Or I guess Screaming Mimi and Hawkeye. But, okay, now there was a siege event that led to Norman Osborn's downfall. Now, this was after Civil War. It's very convoluted, so, we're just going to label it as the siege event. Songbird has taken a position at the Raft, which is a superpowered prison, as the prison's female warden. Songbird has also joined the new Thunderbolts team, led by Luke Cage, in large part to keep a closer eye over Moonstone, who Cage has offered a chance for freedom in exchange for her serving on the team. And Moonstone was also in the original Thunderbolts, so there's a bit of history there. When Songbird objects to Moonstone's inclusion on the team due to her history of manipulation and deceit, Cage counters that Songbird herself used to be regarded the same way and that she should give Moonstone the same chances she was given by others. So that's like her history. She was, she had an abusive father or an alcoholic father. Her mom was incarcerated, so she came from like an abusive household. I'm one of those people that believe that we kind of forge our own paths in life, that we are not a product of our environment. But she was very much so. And, she kind of overcame what it is. And whenever I say that, we're not a product of our environment, I mean it in the fashion that we can make choices outside. Our environment does help shape who we are, but we can always rise above that. Like, we're not stuck to where we are. And I've known too many people that have come from nothing to believe otherwise. But that's her history. What do you guys think? I mean, it's pretty cool, right? Now for her powers. As Songbird, Melissa uses a derivative of technology created by the criminal Ulysses Claw that converts sound into a solid form of energy. It has physical form, it has mass, it's termed solid sound. She could initially create simple three-dimensional sound constructions. Although she has gained experience in her new supersonic sound abilities and has learned to create more complex forms. She shapes and moves these by mental command, and they only remain in existence for as long as she wills them to be. She can fly by generating solid sound wings attached to her body, and initially these were created as glider-style wings, stretching from her wrist to her feet, although more recently they are shown attached to her back. And presumably she animates the wings to flap or somehow generates a propulsive force with her powers, since her airborne speed and maneuverability to date extend well beyond simple gliding. So that's pretty awesome. She's actually gotten used to using that to where it's almost like second nature to her. A Songbird has also occasionally exhibited an ability to influence others through sub-vocal sonics. This is more of a subtle nudge or subconscious suggestion rather than outright mind control. This apparently an effect generated by the remnants of her original sonic enhancements. And as a former wrestler, she's extensively skilled in hand-to-hand combat using wrestling techniques and was well trained by Titania. So, this is a pretty cool power set, right? Like, I mean, I really like Songbird. I was not a fan of Screaming Mimi, but when they turned her into Songbird and actually developed her personality and kind of like motivated her, I really like the character. And that's some of the cool things about comics, is that sometimes these characters almost like come alive. Like, they have these personality traits in it that you can relate to. And I didn't grow up in the same situation as her, not by far, but she's relatable. She's someone that has had issues, and she's gotten over it, and she saw that there were good things happening when she was being the hero, and she liked that more than just getting trying to get crimes done and stuff like that. So I really like Songbird, if I haven't said it already. All right, fun facts. All right, Melissa Gold as Screaming Mimi in Songbird appears in the Superhero Squad show animated series. This version is a S.H.I.E.L.D. agent who Captain America tasked with working undercover within Doctor Doom's Lethal Legion. introduced as Screaming Mimi in the episode of Hulk Talk Smack, she and Claw search for the Infinity Fractals on Doom's behalf. After failing to recover one from the local library, they are sent with Melter and Toad to search for a fractal at the local reservoir. In the episode Deadly is the Black Widow's Bite, Gold is sent with MODOK and the Abomination to search for another fractal, but are defeated by Mystique, disguised as Black Widow per Doom's latest plot. Melissa later joins Mystique, Abomination, MODOK, Claw, and Toad to raid the vault, where she reveals her true identity as Songbird and aids the superhero squad in repelling the villains. Melissa Gold appears in the Avengers Ultron Revolution animated series. She first appears as Masters of Evil member Screaming Mimi in the episodes Adapting to Change and Under Siege, before assuming her Songbird alias as part of the Thunderbolts in the group's self-titled episode and Thunderbolts Revealed. She later returns in the 4-part episode Civil War as a member of the Mighty Avengers. Melissa Gold also appears in the Marvel Rising animated short Battle of the Bands, voiced by Tara Strong. So she's had quite a few animated series entries, I guess. In video games, Songbird appears as a playable character and boss in Marvel Ultimate Alliance 2. Additionally, a variant of her Screaming Mimi costume appears as an alternate skin. In the PS3 and Xbox 360 versions, the caring and modest Songbird is part of the Pro Registration faction, and her sound-based wings are depicted as resembling those of a butterfly rather than the bird-like one she has in the comics. And in the Wii, PSP, and PS2 versions, Songbird is portrayed as stubborn and malicious. Songbird also appears as a playable, downloadable character in LEGO's Marvel's Avengers as part of the Thunderbolts downloadable pack. And Songbird appears as a playable character in Marvel's Avengers Alliance, Marvel Future Fight, Marvel Sum Sum, and a playable character in LEGO Marvel Superheroes 2. So, yeah. She's got a lot of video game experience. And that's pretty cool too. Like, she's been someone that they would see but not really probably know a lot about. And it's because she hasn't had the chance. At least that's my opinion of it. I think the character has so much potential, and it's just a matter of getting that character out. But this one is my favorite part. Before I get to the power expansions, I want to know what you think. Leave a comment. If you're watching on YouTube, like and subscribe. You can email me at b4itall@yahoo.com, or you can catch me on Instagram, Twitter, and Twitch under Super Deep Dive, and use the hashtag superherodeepdive. Send me a message, comment on the memes. It's a lot of fun, and I hope it makes you smile at least. Yeah, and power expansions. Okay, so this is a part where I kind of go in and, like, would they make a good movie? Would they make a good show? Would it be a good animated series? Comic stories, like storylines, stuff like that. I try to run the whole gambit. What would be good for this character? And I would love to see Songbird in the next phase of the MCU. Her story is almost perfect. And, there are some modifications that can be made for the movie. But, she's got the abused past. She went into crime. She was part of a plan ultimately to be a fake good guy. And then she turned into an amazing good guy in the process. This could make a wonderful movie. Almost like the premise in Ant-Man. Where he was a criminal. He found the suit and he became a hero. It's similar premise, only without all the humor. And that's because Paul Rudd is crazy with his humor, but this one could have like a darker tone to it, because of the abusive past. So let's explore that. Let's explore her past that formed her. Let's show her overcoming all those temptations of being the hero for the sake of being the hero instead of selfish motives. Let's show someone that can get past their environment and past failures, like their past criminal past, and excel to be someone great. And let's have her be a role model that anyone can relate to, whether they're privileged or not, because she came from like a terrible place. I really love Songbird's story because she was corrupt, but it was because of her environment that she was corrupt. Like she was bad because the people around her were bad. She made poor choices because everyone in her life made poor choices. Like she was solely a product of her environment. But when she got the chance to do good, and she realized that there was more to things than the quick fix, the quick thrill, the quick payoff. There was a satisfaction in doing the right thing, and she became an immensely powerful hero as a result. And I think this can happen to all of us. And that's what makes her so spectacular. We can all look at choices we've made and be like, I can turn my life around if I wanted. I can do this. I can do the right thing. And then you realize that the right thing is so much more satisfying than trying to take an easy way out, trying to cut corners and stuff. When you do it the right way, it works. So I think her story is completely relatable and can really inspire young watchers. That's my opinion. So who would I cast as something like this? I'm not going to even like beat around the bush. I'm not going to give like little hints. Aubrey Plaza would make an awesome Songbird. She's got that sarcasm, which can really translate to having an abused past and like the dissociative behavior. And she's funny, which can work in key points in the film. Like I said before, not so much as Paul Rudd's Ant-Man, but there could always be some humor slipped in. And I think Plaza has a good range in her performances as well. And I can't think of anyone else I'd rather have be Songbird than Aubrey Plaza. I think she would make a perfect Songbird. She's gorgeous. She's got that frame where she could work with it. I think that doing stuff nowadays, the CGI would work well for it. I think we could have a hit with her, and the fact that she's not so well known, like she's been side characters in cartoons, that there's so much more you can do with her without really getting into things like, she was a professional wrestler. We don't have to worry about that. Or maybe we can. Maybe we can even add that in and have her, when she gets her powers, or when she's doing stuff, she meets up with someone and they do like a little sideshow act, it could be something similar to that. It doesn't necessarily have to be wrestling, but I just think that there's so much you can do. What do you guys think? Do you like my assessment of the character? Is there things I've missed? Do you have any critiques? If, as always, please feel free to reach out to me. You can like, comment, share. But when you comment, if I've missed anything, let me know. Have I missed anything pertinent? I know I've missed things like as far as Civil War and the Skrull invasion and stuff. But I didn't feel that those were so important to form the character. So, if I did miss anything, let me know. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, or requests for heroes to be covered, let me know. Like I said, I'm on Twitter, Twitch, and Instagram under superdeepdive. And use the hashtag superherodeepdive. I post pretty much every day. I normally don't post over the weekends because it's the weekend. And I spend time with family. But during the week, I post superhero memes every day. So yeah, comment on that. If you like it, subscribe, friend me. I don't know, whatever all that is. My DMs are always open. You can always email me at b4itall@yahoo.com. And if you're listening on Outworld Fleet Radio, hi. You can still contact me anyway. And I'm always on I'm always on Outward Fleet Radio every Tuesday and Thursday throughout the day at www.un-con-ventional.com/radio. But that's all I've got. Until next week. I think next week I'm going to try to cover Quasar. So that should be fun because he was kind of an older school hero that I liked back when I was younger. And I will talk to you guys later. Everyone, be blessed, be happy, be safe, be smart. And if you're not smart, don't get caught. I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.